Yep.
Now after that, there is a really, really weird game. Now it's called Triforce Heroes. It has the
Oh
same
no.
engine as A Link Between Worlds, but it looks really different and it has a different art style and it's incredibly weird and it's all about fashion and it's a multiplayer game
And
and
it's
it's
a different
really
princess because it's not Zelda, and then things are weird, and there's a different villain, and the plot is stupid.
it makes no sense. It's really weird. You can be completely forgiven if you don't play it or don't even care about its existence.
I
Moving on.
forgot that it existed until we set up to do this. I legitimately
um,
forgot that Hyrule, that not is it Triforce Heroes? I was about to say
Triforce Heroes, yeah.
Hyrule Warriors. No, not Hyrule Warriors. That's non-canon, but I
Hyrule Warriors
like
isn't
it.
canon, but
It's
the game
non-canon, but I
Triforce,
love it.
it's great. It's more canon than Triforce Heroes.
Yeah, if it's
Yeah.
left up to the imagination, let's just say that that one isn't even part of the games. It's
Yeah.
not even
I
part
think
of the timeline, according to us.
AGM Anuma, who's the producer of the Zelda series, actually loves Triforce Heroes. It's one of his favorites, which I
What?
think is quite funny. Yeah, no, he loves it. He's like, I love it. I love the multiplayer. You guys gotta play it. It's just the greatest thing ever. Which is kind of funny. I
And
think
all the
he
fans are
actually
just going, "I'm sorry, you what?"
in fact, he said he loves it so much he wants to make like a sequel 3D, like a 3D Zelda sequel, like
Oh
a
no.
multiplayer one that's 3D.
Well, I mean, a 3D multiplayer Zelda could actually be really interesting.
Well, I mean, he is the producer being ambitious about it, so it's not just a cash grab. It could work.
Yeah.
Um, uh,
It's the Zelda team. Have they ever done anything that is just a cash grab?
no, I mean, all the games the games like Breath of the Wild, they delayed to make it perfect. Well,
Yeah, there
close
have
to be
been like
perfect.
there's been like two games released and one pair of games where one is has only recently been announced where they use the same assets, and those
Mhm.
being Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and Breath of the Wild, and the sequel that I'm not going to call Breath of the Wild 2 because we don't know its actual title yet.
That's what I'm calling it before we get its actual title, which is going to be the Return of Gannon Wind or something like that. It's going to be
Return of
great.
Ganon Wind.
The
Amazing.
Return of Ganon. Yeah, well, Ganondorf because he's skeleton.
Maybe.
So basically, then there's a massive time skip. Hyrule
Yep.
falls into ruins for some reason. I think it's because the royal family uses the Triforce or something like that when they really shouldn't have, and it
Yep.
become and everyone lives underground, and it's no good. And
Then
this
stuff happens, and I
pretty much
don't
this
really
is where
understand it.
Nintendo shoves in the original
Yeah.
two Zeldas.
This is
So
like,
first,
hey, we didn't know what we were doing with these, so there.
they're there. So pretty much what happens to these games is the original Legend of Link's just a boy walking around. He saves an old lady from a group of Octoroks or something, and that's Impa. And she
Yeah.
basically says, "My princess Zelda has been captured by the evil Ganon. Please go stop her." So then
You
you
know,
do that.
it's like the plot of Mario. You know,
Yeah,
a
it's
princess has
literally
been captured, go save her.
yeah. It's the same
Hmm.
plot. It's just
It's the same plot, just in a different world, and it
yeah.
eventually evolved into a very plot-heavy series
Mm.
versus Mario, which let's not talk about the plot of Mario.
No, don't start that.
Yep.
Individual games, yes. Series as a whole, no.
No.
So there's a sequel, and this is called The Adventure of Link, the only Legend of Zelda game that isn't called Zelda. And in The Adventure
Yep.
of Link, pretty much what happens is Ganondorf isn't actually alive, but
Yeah,
uh,
he's not really there.
no, he's not. But
He's
whenever
still
you
the
die,
villain, but he's not
whenever
there.
no, he's a villain. He's dead. But the thing is, the bad guys have made Zelda fall asleep or something like that. It's really weird. But pretty much
Yes,
what
because
happens,
that's definitely going to work.
yeah, you want to wake her up, pretty much. And so you go on a quest to do that. The final boss is you fight yourself, which is some sort of, self-doubt metaphor.
Shadow
Uh,
Link,
but pretty
a
much
reoccurring
what
villain.
yeah,
Hmm.
pretty much what the bad guys want to do in this game, the villains, the remaining the remaining Ganon forces, they want to kill Link to take his blood and resurrect the Demon King, which is
Yep.
Ganon. So whenever
The
you
Demon King
die,
Demise, who is now Ganon.
yeah, whenever you die, basically it's like Ganon was resurrected. You lost. What? Like, the
Yeah, it's a really freaky death screen for an NES game.
pretty much what happens with this game is Link walks off into the sunset, and there's nothing after that at all. It's the last game. Nintendo probably has no plans to continue with this timeline. This is where they just shoved the stuff that didn't really make sense.
Yep. Now, we should get onto the timeline where I'm going to have much more to say about it, which is the child era timeline, because if you don't die in Ocarina of Time, then then the hero is triumphant, and there's two possibilities: either you return to being a child, or you stay as an adult. Now, if you
Well,
return to being a if you return to
well,
being a
actually,
child,
it's the same thing actually, Darcy. Like,
no,
it's actually you're right. It is him returning to be a child, but it's always him being a child.
mm,
There's two timelines because there is another universe, there's another reality where he was sent away, so there's no Link anymore.
yeah, okay,
Yeah, see, it is kind of confusing.
yeah,
Pretty much.
pretty much that's the only confusing part for me.
Yeah. So
It also
basically,
doesn't help that it's labeled the child era and the adult era.
yeah, that's really confusing because they make you think like Link stays a child and an adult. He doesn't. When he survives, Majora's Mask always happens, right? He always
Yep.
goes in. He's always a child. He always gets sent back in time. However, this Princess Zelda inadvertently actually really stuffs up Hyrule for herself at least. Because what she does is then there's a future reality, a future universe
Timeline.
where the Ocarina of Time happened, and it's in the 7-year future.
Yep.
But Link, there isn't a Link anymore because she sent him back, and that continues on for some games. But what happens to Link is that Link gets sent back in time 7 years before Ganon's takeover, and he warns Princess Zelda of Ganondorf.
Oh yeah.
Now this is the video I did of the Hyrule and Gerudo War. Pretty much,
Yeah.
she tells her dad, the dad and the knights confront Ganondorf. He reveals his plans to take over Hyrule and basically just kickstarts a war. This war is a massive battle called the Harley and Gerudo War. You can watch my video on it. If I go over to my YouTube channel, I'll leave a link in the description.
I'll link it in the description as well.
Yeah, or even put a card up, even better.
Yeah.
But pretty much, to briefly summarize what happens, it ends with Ganondorf's capture and the King of Hyrule being victorious. Ganondorf is then executed, which we'll go into another game soon.
Yes, but let's talk about Majora's Mask.
Yeah,
because that's a game that I have a lot of thoughts on for a game that I've never played.
Set it up quickly. Before the war happens, Link runs away pretty much to find Navi, who vanished at the end of Ocarina of Time. So yeah, I'll let you go into the next bit.
Now, Majora's Mask is... So, the thing is that when A Link to the Past came out, it was this sort of big, oh my gosh, there's a huge story. And then they did even more with that in Ocarina of Time. But then Majora's Mask, they completely deviated from what they'd done and made a really, really dark game.
Yeah, with a lot of lore too. Yeah,
because instead of being, this is good, this is evil, go stop the evil because you are good. It's instead, a lot of the times it appears to be almost a metaphor for grieving. And there's a theory that this is because Link is dead, but I think that it's more just they wanted to make the game much more story-driven and much more metaphoric.
Yeah.
Because it deals with very heavy themes and the tone is so much darker than Ocarina of Time. Where instead of just being, you go stop evil because evil person bad. Instead, there's an evil, but it's essentially a child being controlled by this evil, and he doesn't understand that what he's doing is hurting people. He wants everyone to play with him, but people can't.
he's built out of pain and loss of losing everything
Mm.
close to him, and so he gets really angry
And
and yeah, it's pretty much the equivalent of a child uh, having his family taken away from him, and
yeah,
then giving him the most powerful and evil creation in existence.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's and then the whole thing of there are 3 days until everyone dies.
yeah,
You need to stop that, and you can time travel back and forth and back and forth. It's it's a very Doctor Who plotline, in my opinion, where it's time travel helps you, but time travel isn't the answer. No matter how many times you travel back in time, you're always going to need to end up going back to where you were in order to stop, in order to finish.
yeah. No matter what happens, everyone around you, because the characters are really
Mm,
well developed, and they actually all like
yeah.
interact with each other, and they have an entire cycle. They're real characters and people in my eyes, and
Mm,
you see them as the moon comes crashing down, which is a thing in the game, to kill everybody. In the end of the 3 day cycle, the characters grieve in different ways. Some flee, some start to break down, others are in denial. It's really dark, and then you just have to wait until either you go back in time or everyone gets killed.